Hi, everybody. This is Kat here at IMES. Thank you so much for taking the time to register for this webinar and even jump on. I'm super excited about this webinar. Lately, I've just been working on some of the marketing kits and really just pushing these out there to you guys because I think a lot of our agents don't really know that we have these complimentary marketing kits. And then with it being Annuity Awareness Month, here at IMES that annuities and life insurance is pretty much our bread and butter, our big focus in the insurance realm. So I definitely wanted to push this out there to you guys because there's a lot of good information in it. I'm just waiting for a couple more people to come on board here. It looks like we've got a bunch of people just jumping on here. We had a lot of registrants, and I'm sure you guys are getting flooded by all of the annuity awareness emails and different things from the carriers. So really happy to connect this piece with you guys as well. I'll be sharing my screen here as well. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and get that bigger. And if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to put them in that chat or question box there, and I'll be happy to answer that. We do have a QA after, but as you guys know, we always start off our webinars with some IMES value propositions, and this is for our newcomers here to IMES, and also for our agents that have been here, maybe been with us for a while, but just need a little refresher on what exactly we do here at IMES and all the different incentives and options that you have available to you. So I'll just go ahead and jump right into that. Again, thank you so much. My name is Kat. I am an annuity sales director here at IMES. I've loved my time here at IMES. And from an agent perspective, I came from the field too. So working on this end, I really see how much value we have here at IMES. And so as a new producer, when you jump on board at IMES, you have 180 days to really hit this new producer builder is what we call it. And so it starts off at the $100,000 level all the way up to $1 million level. And I don't want you to be limited to what you see here because you see these things, these are pretty much just ideas. You may already have marketing systems in place. We also do marketing reimbursement, but a lot of agents too, they come to us for our complimentary marketing analysis where they find that they can take their business to the next level. And so when you start off at that $100,000 level, you may already be doing mailers. You may already have an iPad. So we also offer cash incentive like $750 cash. And then once you keep going up, I know you guys are probably doing this and working this really hard, so there's got to be more than $100,000 in there that we could work on. So once we approach the $1 million level, you really start to see the different incentives climb up there. Like you can do 3 safe money marketing event workshops at the base tier level. Those are seminar programs. And through a proprietary seminar program that we have here at IMES, or you can get 8 to 10 preset annuity appointments. So lots of good incentives when you're new here at IMES. And then you do also have your IMES business builders. So like the referred producer program. My agents love this because I have some agents that do not want to build an agency. They do not want to build a team, but we still give them a chance to get some good override. And to be clear, this override isn't coming from your friends or colleagues' commission. It's actually coming from a check from IMES as a thank you for referring this agent who is also doing business with us just like you are. And so you get a $50 one-time bonus when you refer your agent, refer your agent and they contract with IMES. And then once they start doing business, because they too want that new producer bonus, just go back there. You'll also get 0.15% of life target premium. On single premium, you'll get 0.075%. And then on indexed annuities, you'll get 20 basis points. And then on MIGAs, 10 basis points, 0.10 basis points. So a lot of good stuff there. Really, these are the the checks that Steve and Charles really love to sign, and then you do also get marketing reimbursement. And so I love this. My agents take full advantage of this, and they have lots of different ways that you can credit this. And so we do pay $100 of marketing reimbursement per $100,000 of premium. And so what that looks like is, let's say you have a fixed indexed annuity, you're writing through Athene, you do $100,000 of that, you get $100 back into your marketing account. On the life insurance side, it's a little bit different. For single premium life, you do $100,000 of life premium, single premium life, and you get $200 back. And then with life target as well, if you do $10,000 of premium, you still get $200 back. So a lot of great incentive there to increase your capital. And then, not to mention, we do have great back office support. So, you know that our back office support is very unique. We have had this for the last almost 40 years now, but we have a 2 ring guarantee where you call in, you're going to get someone to answer the phone. You're not going to have any kind of voicemail, no machines or robots answering. As a marketer, I get that every now and then and it drives me nuts. But you do get a live person here. You have business building tools. You have your IMS portal that's available 24/7. And then you get case design assistance. You also get all of the forms, annuity, life quotes, all of that good stuff. That's all available to you 24/7. And then, of course, we marketers, we come in here day in, day out. We're here all the time. And then, like I mentioned, you do have your IMS website that's available to you 24/7. There's also the sales resources library that you can access. A lot of good information in that. In that sales resources library, you'll also have good life insurance and underwriting information if you do life. And then on the annuities side, you have great concept pages. So lots of good stuff all around centered around life and annuities. And here are our e-app solutions. So we use different platforms, iPipeline for our life insurance guys and gals, and then we've got Luma Firelight that we use for the annuity side. And so we've partnered with them to make business just a little bit more streamlined. That way you could access all of your applications, most, not all of them, but most of your applications through one platform. And that's just by logging in with one username and one email instead of having to, for security purposes, of course, have different passwords and maybe just use one email. But it makes things a lot easier to remember. We do also have our creative services team. Our creative department, they're my favorite department here at IMS because that's something that most IMOs don't have in-house. This is something that they usually have to branch out and get as a third party. This is something that we have here at IMS in both of our locations. So you guys may or may not know that we've got 2 locations, one in Kansas and one here in Omaha, Nebraska. And so they're spread out between the 2 locations, and they're just a phenomenal department. They work on agency solutions, digital solutions, and turnkey solutions. And again, they're all in-house. So if you ever need something quite urgently or on the fly, I'm able to just go into their office or bug my favorite person um, in Kansas and just let them know I've got something that I really need done. Can you please help me? And they're able to do that really quickly. We also have our IAMS Wealth Management team for our securities registered reps. Now, this is great. And if you have the dream of becoming a securities registered rep, they also have a great starter program. But what I love about them is that they're very sharp, very good, very knowledgeable, and professional with what they do and handling people's assets under management, but they're also the nicest people that I've ever met. I don't think I've ever had a bad interaction with these guys. And so, what they really focus on is increasing your revenue, improving your client retention, and then just strengthening those relationships that you have. Because, as you know, assets under management, that is a big deal. So, they're great with people that have been in the business for a long time, and they're great with people that have been in the business for a short time. We also do have our Life and Annuity Academy. We actually just had one about 2 weeks now, it seems, but this is a great event for agents that are really looking to scale up their practice, people that are looking to increase their revenue. We have multi-million dollar keynote speakers here, and they are just pouring into you. And then you also have different vendors that come out. Now, usually they're hosted by different carriers. So the next one that we're having will actually just be an IUL focused academy. So we call that our IUL Academy, of course, and that will be hosted by North American. We have a great relationship with them, and so that next academy will be up in Chicago at their headquarters. So if you do a lot of IUL business, make sure to reach out to one of our life insurance directors here. And even the annuity directors too, because let's say you do a lot of IULs, you actually become a little bit more focused on the annuity side as well too eventually. And so I would highly encourage you to reach out to a life or annuity director here at IMES in regards to this if you are looking to grow and scale this year. Next up, we do have our Trek to Quebec trip. We actually are coming up at our deadline of June 30th here. This is an 18-month qualification period that we had for our IMES as a whole incentive trip, our Top Producer Summit. We have different incentive trips going on with different carriers, but I love this one because it gives you the chance to write as much business as possible with whichever carrier you need to. And this includes both life and annuity premium that you're doing. So every point counts. And then these are just our social media pages that we have. So make sure to follow us on Facebook and on LinkedIn because we definitely have a lot of material there. So we also will promote our annuity awareness guide on here as well. And then it won't have the full guide up there. You'll still have to reach out to us and let us know that you want this. Otherwise, I'm going to be reaching out to everybody that registered for this webinar to make sure that you guys have received the kit and see if you have any questions. And so without further ado, I will go ahead and just pull up the Annuity Awareness Month slide deck that I have now. So let me go ahead and pull that up. While I do that though, I do want to launch a quick poll. So the first one would be, would you like more information on our next Life and Annuity Academy? So go ahead and vote. I'll leave this up for a few minutes here. The nice part about Life and Annuity Academy is that you also get to meet us in person. So this is the one chance I really get to meet my agents in person. So I take full advantage um, anytime you guys are up here for Academy, just to meet you guys in person. Oh, and I've got someone raising a hand. So, to the person that's raising your hand, go ahead and type that question you have in the chat box or, yeah, in the chat box because I won't be able to hear you, even though this looks like a Zoom call, but I just won't be able to hear you. So, any questions you guys have, go ahead, type that in. I'm going to go ahead, close up that poll. Thank you for everybody that just voted. I think I have one more. Let me close that up. Okay, I'll leave the other two for the end here, and then I'll just jump right into this. So let me pull that up. And then I did not see your question in the chat box. I'll go ahead and answer that when we do have our QA session at the very end of this. So Annuity Awareness Month, I'm just going to go ahead and share this slide deck now. This is pretty much what I'm going to be going over today. Just a little agenda for you guys. So what I'll be covering is our IMES advocacy for Awareness Month and you. Our IMES Annuity Awareness Month kit. So I'll be going over the kit in a little bit more detail and what we have in this kit, just so you know what to expect. And then we will have a Q&A session afterwards. So our IAMS advocacy for Annuity Awareness Month. So this is actually very recent. Chris Conroy was actually up at the Nebraska State Capitol June 3rd, so just a couple of weeks ago, and that's because he is always vouching for Nebraska being an annuity heavy, an annuity just an annuity friendly type of state. So, as you know, doing annuities and just insurance in general in some states can be kind of sticky, can be a little difficult, can be a little complicated sometimes. Not necessarily, well, there's a lot of different reasons for that, but um, not necessarily always because of the different business processing that you have to do with annuities like suitability requirements, but sometimes just because the state will require something very specific for the sale of an annuity. And so Chris, he is our executive vice president. He handles the annuity department here at IAMS, and he is also our legal person here at IAMS. So he was really, really happy to be able to join the American Life Chief Information Officer, Brian, and then also their Vice President, Mason, over at the Nebraska State Capitol this year with Governor Jim Pillen. Really to proclaim June Annuity Awareness Month here in the month of Nebraska. So we have always vouched for annuities, of course, not just because it's our bread and butter here at IAMS, but because we truly believe in the product. Now, Chris, he runs the head of annuities because if you've ever talked to Chris, not only is he very smart and has all of this information, he's also very passionate about annuities and will always put you in the best solution possible. And so we're really lucky to have Chris here and for him to be able to go through these type of measures so that both our annuity department is protected, IAMS is protected, but also to make sure that all of our contracted agents are protected. That's a really big deal. It really, really shows how much we care. And how much Chris cares because these guys too, the leadership that we have here at IAMS, they're also always here in the office. They don't ever just leave everything for us to do here. They're always here with their hands in the pot as well. And so whenever I look at this slide, that's just a testament to how the leadership is here. And again, to mention, this is him in front of this the Capitol. And so IMES is a premier partner of the National Association for Fixed Annuities, NAFA. So if you've been in the business for a while, you definitely know what NAFA is. You probably get a bunch of emails from NAFA, especially if you do a bunch of fixed indexed annuities. So to let you know, we are a premier partner. And so we're really lucky to have that partnership and some key advocacy priorities that we have for our independent agents that are licensed through IAMS is we make sure that you're aware of the DOL. We make sure that you're being compliant with the NAIC best interest regulation. We also make sure that you're aware of all of the different state regulations, not on the federal side, but just, per your state, whether you're here in Nebraska or whether you're in Texas, California. We even do business in New York. We do business all over the place. And we have a very, very good, thorough contracting department that will make sure that you have your NAIC best interest for that state, or you have your different state regulations that are really just, they're making sure that they're turning over all the rocks. That way, when you submit the piece of business, it's compliant. And then, of course, making sure that you're aware of the Secure Act 2.0. And then, of course, favorable tax statuses of annuities. And so these are the major key points that we really focus on in making sure you're aware of the annuities, because when you're in an appointment and you're doing the app process, you're probably just thinking of suitability because you've already done the licensing process. And so oftentimes we also forget that there's the best interest regulation, or we forget that, well, typically per state, you're going to know exactly what you're going to need. But sometimes and other times you may not. It might just be one little thing that you may not have caught, but our contracting department and our new business department will catch it because we have multiple departments that are here in favor for you, just advocating for you to get that business issued. And so I do have a couple of other things that I can pair with this. We also have our new Department of Labor fiduciary rule guide that we put out a couple years ago when it first came out. This actually came out in 2021. And so I think we were actually one of the only IMOs to really, really make sure that people were aware of the DOL. Last year, and like I said, Chris is very passionate about all this. Chris actually had a DOL series that he did for this, and we made sure that we were reaching out to every agent we could about this new rule to take place so that you were being compliant in everything. So making sure you had like the PTE 8424 form, which is the insurance and annuities only type of form in regards to payment, right? Or the PTE 2020-02 form. Now, these are very form specific numbers I'm spitting out. And you may or may not know what these forms even are. But especially if you are a registered securities advisor, it's also really important to know all of this compliant and regulation stuff. And you may already do, but also if you're doing both, just to be able to compartmentalize and really just have these sorted out for you is a big deal. And so if you kind of are looking for a business process where things are kind of just like in a neater order, a little bit more organized, you could also get with your life or your annuity director. I've actually lately, in the past couple of weeks, see business processes put together for some of their agents that have been in the business for years. you know they might have been very seasoned years, but still have not had a business process to keep up with all of these different compliance and regulatory things. And so these are just a couple of things that I think of when I think of how IAMS advocates for you and all of the leadership that they do and all of the guides that they put together. And now our IAMS Annuity Awareness Month marketing kit. So the actual kit that we have, this is probably what you see promoted on our IAMS website. This is designed to help producers introduce and educate consumers on the benefits of annuities using email and direct mail templates, consumer presentations and fact finders, sales concepts, top product solutions, and turnkey social media pieces. So, what I really love about this is that oftentimes it feels like you're really alone in this industry, kind of just doing things on your own, putting together all of your materials. Here at IAMS, you actually have help doing all that stuff. And we think about these things like 10 steps beforehand because we're aware of everything going on in the industry. And so we want to make sure that you know of everything going on in the industry and have the ammo to be able to back it up when you go into your houses or do your virtual appointments. And so we pretty much cover all of the bases. And like I said, I do have some guides that like really complement this kit as well that I could include. And so um, the other thing that I wanted to add to this is that all the pieces can be customized for you and your brand. So we do white label everything. And like I mentioned, the creative department, my favorite department here at IAMS, if you have a logo, instead of putting the IAMS logo, they'll put on your logo. You don't have to have the IAMS information anywhere. You could put your logo on here, and then you just look that much more professional when you're doing your presentations. You're leaving material behind. So I would highly consider doing a complimentary marketing analysis if you haven't already, or if it's been a while, maybe just a nice refresher. Or I would say just give us a call and we'll connect you with our creative department team here at IAMS. And so these are just a couple of different examples that we have in this kit. So these are some of the email and direct mail templates that we have. These are professionally written pieces that also easily educate your clients and prospects on the advantages of annuities prior to any meetings or plan proposals. So, how many of you have gone into an appointment that was not necessarily pre qualified? The majority of us. So, what's nice about this is that you're sending out It could be an email or it could be a mailer or something where you are letting them know right off the bat that you are there for one reason and one reason alone, and that is to look into their retirement and see if they're set up correctly. And so there's nothing that's misguiding here or anything. It's all compliant, of course, and you're able to use this. We put this together and you can modify it, of course. It's all for you. We do also have some consumer presentations and fact finders. Like I said, you could put your annuity, or not your annuity, your logo on this. So let's say where it says understanding annuities, right above that, you could put your logo right there. And then maybe even say something like presented by so and so. Um, and so this is a nice slideshow that we put together presentation for agents. That way you don't have to put it all together yourself. As you know, that takes time. I've put together slideshow presentations every now and then for some of my agents. It takes time and it takes effort and it takes work, especially if you want it done right. So just have a professional maybe help you with that. And we do also have fact finders. So to the side of that slideshow presentation, you do also have a fact finder that is critical. I've talked to agents that have been in this maybe 2, 3, 4 years and they still haven't used a fact finder. I would say if you are not using a fact finder, get registered with IME so that you can access the fact finders that we have here, and then definitely just ask us. So carriers also have fact finders. So this one that you see here is a very general fact finder to really discover and uncover any financial information, insurance information, if you might need to do a replacement or something, or long-term care. This is the type of fact finder where you're going to find out what your client needs and you're going to point them in a direction and find them a solution to really be able to protect their retirement, whether it's an annuity, an IUL, a long-term care policy, something. Typically with a fact finder, you could find out what to sell. And if you're like me, I'll go in a house and I'm going to say, I'm going to sell something. I am not leaving the house empty handed. And so to mention, like I said, carriers also have fact finders. So you're not limited to this one fact finder. There's several of thousands of fact finders out there. And if you're not sure about the one that you're currently using or don't have one, just give me a call and I'll send you one. We do also have our IAMS Annuity Awareness Month, different guides that we have, like annuity basics, the market cycle of emotions, and then the reality of loss due to volatility. So we have some great concept pieces, guides, and just informational pieces to really get the point across as to why an annuity could be very important into protecting the assets that they've worked their whole life for. So, especially if you've got, let's say, a 401k, you come across a client that's just been with a 401k that's been sitting there due to job loss or something, or let's say they're retiring, they need to roll that over. And so you can walk them through the market cycle of emotions of what it means to just have your money sitting out there, not protected. So definitely use all of these guides that we have. They're very valuable. Carriers typically, again, will also have these. And so when you are registered with IMES, you get a dedicated life and annuity director. Just give us a call and we'll let you know which carriers have these type of concept pages and fact finders. We also do have turnkey social media pieces. So we've put these together for you. These are a lot of fun. I like that one on the right. Know your options, own your future. Um, and then we also have retirement shouldn't be a question mark. Get in touch today for a review of your client retirement strategy. So our creative department, they've been adding a bunch of people to their team because there's just so many people that are coming on board. And so I love all of these fun social media pieces that we've been doing because, again, you don't have to put it together yourself. And they're eye-catching. I mean, these especially are a lot of fun. And so now we are to our question segment. So I'll go ahead and pull up the chat box again and see what kind of questions we have. I know someone was raising their hand earlier, but I still don't see a question or anything in the chat box. So if you have any questions, now is your time to shine. And I'll go ahead and also post a poll while we're waiting for these questions to come in. So the first one being, would you like to register with IAMS for additional resources? So one of these resources includes this complimentary kit that we put together. We have several kits that we've done, and someone else raised their hand. I'm so sorry. I barely see the raise hand. I see the questions a lot more often. And then again, we've got a bunch more. So part of these additional resources include the marketing balance, right? So just going to that, or the different incentive trips that we have. We have so many different carriers that we work with too. Um, a lot of them also have incentive trips. Like Athene's got their incentive trip going on that we have partnered with. Silac does. And then some of these carriers also have different inner circle programs or different programs where you could actually get a boost on your compensation based on how much production you're doing. So even just having the knowledge and the value of having someone do your business with you, like having a dedicated life and annuity director, is so helpful because these are things that we all miss in our inbox every single day. I mean, how many times do you check your email and see it get flooded every single hour? Sometimes I do. I mean, when I was an insurance agent, I was getting emailed all the time, and I still get emailed all the time. So there's lots of things that you can miss. The value of having a life insurance director and an annuity director is that we'll provide these updates for you whether you're picking up the phone on us or not. So, highly, highly would suggest getting signed up with IAMS if you are not already. I'm going to go ahead and end that poll and then go ahead and launch the last question that I have. And then I finally see a question up here. Tim, who should we use for mailers or email blasts? That's a great question. So you would be using two resources, either your life and annuity director, or just go ahead and go straight to our creative department, ask for anybody on that team. I would let them know you're doing mailers or email blasts. Typically, like for email blasts, I would probably say Ryan, just because he has access to all these lists. And we do, one thing to note too is that we not only work with independent agents, we also work with agency owners. So if you have a team of people, if you have sub agents or downlines, we make that really easy for your team too. Um, we just make it a little bit more streamlined. So for example, Ryan, he's been helping me a lot with some of my agency owners. If you are both in the production and the recruiting phase, right now I have lists of just like 8,000 agents right now just sitting in my hand, just waiting to be recruited for this agency. And so there's lots of different things that we could do that for, not just on the recruitment stance, but for clients. I could only imagine what magic Ryan can do in conjunction with some of the marketing programs that we have. So just to quickly answer your question, Tim, I would say go and check in with your life or annuity director, and then they'll probably also connect with Ryan or someone on the creative team. So great question. I do have one more poll here. Would you like more information on the IAMS Marketing Dollars program? So this is the marketing reimbursement that we have, or if you are a new agent, the new producer bonus. I have a bunch of new agents right now that are really, really trying to ramp up as much as they can on that new producer bonus. Or if you are with us, don't feel afraid to ask us how much is in your marketing balance. I probably have at least 1 to 2 agents ask me every day, and I bug Riley for that. Alrighty, I am going to go ahead and close up that poll. Thank you so much for taking that time to vote on that. And I will be reaching out to everybody that was registered on here and everybody that attended so that you can get this kit without further ado, I think that's it. I don't have any more questions. Oh, okay, Frank. Hi, Frank. So, what is my email? I'm going to go ahead and I don't know if I could type this in the chat actually. What I'm going to do, Frank, is I actually reached out to all of my agents that have been on here. I'm sorry, I'm looking for it right now. Here it is. Where did it go? I can't type it in the question box, but I can type it in the chat box. So really quickly right now, before I log off, I'm going to type this in here, imesinc.com. That way you have access to it and know where your information's coming from. You guys are going to see this complimentary kit and the recording of this webinar once we have it, coming from Catherine at imesinc.com. And then definitely expect a call from me either today or sometime this week whenever I get the list of all of you who have attended and registered. But other than that, again, thank you so much for joining my webinar. I hope you all have a great week and get to really utilize this kit. Thanks again. Bye, guys.